Servus! Thanks for taking the time to watch my short video. My name is Alex Gang and I'm the founder and inventor of PATCHBOX. We have made it our life's work to revolutionize cable management forever and make the maintenance and servicing of complex IT infrastructures easier and more efficient than ever. Before we start, I want to be real with you. You will only get added value from this video if a few things apply to you. If you operate a critical infrastructure in your company and work with an IT decision-maker role in a company between 1,000 and 5,000 employees, then you've come to the right place, and I can pat our marketing people on the back. If you have been remotely thinking about possible changes or optimizations in your server rooms and network racks over the last few months or weeks, then you should definitely watch this video until the end. If none of these apply to you, then you can skip this video and we thank you for your time. Let's move on to the part of the video where I might be able to offer you some eye-opening insights into some aspects of your IT infrastructure. As an organization, you might currently be in one of the following scenarios. It tends to look like this in the server room and in the racks. What seems manageable at the beginning very quickly ends up in a so-called cable tangle where even the most experienced of technicians can no longer tell where things start or end. There's a clear desire for clean racks, but there is no real solution or someone who would specifically feel responsible for it. It goes along the lines of, as long as it runs, it's fine. Let me briefly paint a picture of what things look like for our customers after they have switched to PATCHBOX. I will let you enjoy this picture for a moment without further comments. Over the years, the chaos that prevails in the IT infrastructure has created a serious worry or inhibition threshold to change. The truth is, the chaos won't improve. And if you want to prevent your server room from becoming a business risk and losing control of your infrastructure, then perhaps it's time to consider making the necessary updates now. PATCHBOX is not only the perfect solution for this, it's also the right sparring partner for this kind of transformation. For years, or maybe even decades, your organization has been buying cables from the same manufacturers at the same prices and sees no need to change suppliers, let alone pay more. After all, not every innovation has to be adopted. Whether a more cost-intensive variant of a solution makes sense can be determined using a simple metric: return on investment. PATCHBOX is profitable right from the moment your technicians put their hands on the clean racks for the first time. But more on this later. Your organization maps the IT infrastructure in an Excel to keep track, which makes it impossible to document ongoing changes. Seriously though, an Excel sheet? For companies of this size, this is a real business risk, which can only be counteracted directly with PATCHBOX to ensure that your technical teams can detect when something is going wrong within minutes, even in huge data centers and server rooms, to intervene at lightning speed. The keyword here is downtime. A lot of our customers face one of these situations when they first contact us. The current IT infrastructure is being rethought and will be updated. However, as several locations, perhaps even internationally, are affected, this project can only be rolled out step by step. Utilizing a new solution for this is a realistic idea, if the circumstances allow it. New locations, office buildings, etc. are currently being built and to be equipped with simpler and more efficient IT solutions. The organization is growing and with it the infrastructure. Finding a standardized solution now makes perfect sense, but has not been pursued further to date. If any of these situations apply to you, it's the perfect time to get in touch with us. Why? Quite simply, we already support over 30,000 companies in more than 50 countries on their way to clean and stable IT infrastructure. If one or more of these scenarios apply to you, then you have already faced one of the following challenges. At least that was the case with many of our customers. Challenge 1. Most server rooms and network cabinets run wild. When something breaks, the cable chaos causes downtime. Since, so far, the infrastructure has worked, everybody puts up with the cable clutter. Technical teams spend hours, even days, making changes, fixing bugs. This leads to unpredictable downtime. In large organizations, downtime is manifested in lost time and money. On top of that, technical teams incur massive costs. making this the perfect cable chaos. Due to the lack of overview, your organization simply looks away, hoping that nothing will break in the IT room. Downtime is expensive. According to a study by Gartner from 2022, 1 minute of downtime costs an average of $5,600. That's right, $5,600, with an upward trend depending on the size of the organization. On top of that, the cost of the technical teams are very hard to budget, since they may have to work nights and weekends, charging extra so that the daily operations won't end up suffering as a result. Everyone wants a clear, organized network rack and cabinet, of course. This is still the #1 reason our products are used in more than 50 countries, even after over 500,000 products sold. But the actual effect goes far beyond ridding yourself of cable clutter. Did you know that 70% of all network problems are caused by poor cable management? With PATCHBOX, you don't just get a nice rack, you get a forever organized rack. That ensures that downtime is minimized in the event of a failure or fault, with costs in terms of both personnel and time are kept as low as possible. The end result is an IT infrastructure with higher availability and lower costs. Fear of change or innovation. In many organizations, only a few people in the company really know how the IT infrastructure works. The operational managers of the infrastructure are not responsible for the budget, which means that awareness of new solutions tend to be lost or does not even make it onto the agenda. The inhibition, the threshold for changing this infrastructure is correspondingly high. Established providers are the gold standard and are therefore trusted. Generally speaking, the openness towards new solutions, especially in the IT sector, is limited. There is a lack of strategic approach and/or context for the actual benefits of a new solution in cable management. Time and again we hear the phrase, "It's just cables and the price, there's no need to be that innovative." Even if there were a need or an urge to upgrade the IT infrastructure, fear won't allow effective implementation. Supported by theories such as, "We have always done it this way," or "We don't have any problems with our IT anyway, everything works well enough," the decision in favor of conventional cable management remains. Worst case scenario, there is a high level of mistrust in the company's own infrastructure. In addition, there may be even fear of what will happen when the people who are running the infrastructure leave the company or retire. Worries and mistrust are a good sign, because then you are at least aware that something needs to be done about it. As a PATCHBOX customer, you have a decisive benefit. You take control of your infrastructure and do not have to change everything across the organization overnight. This not only means that you benefit from innovative solutions, but also ensures that you remain competitive throughout a controlled and fail-safe IT infrastructure. Standardization is wishful thinking. In organizations with hundreds to thousands of locations, maintaining a consistent IT environment is wishful thinking. The server rooms and network cabinets are a little different everywhere. The local technology teams and partners work differently and there's no IT standard whatsoever. This colorful meadow leads to inefficient workflows and frustrated technical teams. The lack of predictability and standardization in IT also makes it difficult for management to make effective strategic decisions. In addition, the risk of downtime is automatically increased, always leading to financial and reputational damage. The entire situation leads to frustration for both managers and IT teams. The thought of the next technical interference is already waiting around the corner and leads to a feeling of uncertainty. This often leads to demotivated employees and tense employee-manager relationships, which has a negative impact on the corporate culture. Imagine you have a company with multiple locations. At each of these, your technical teams will find the same server racks with the same configurations and an almost clinically clean PATCHBOX setup. This has double the triple positive effect. Let me explain. Your technical teams suddenly don't need hours, but a mere 15 minutes to replace a switch, as you can identify cables within seconds. The same IT standard prevails in the server room at every location, which means that your documentation is correspondingly clear and bulletproof. One of the consequences of this is that minor changes in the server room do not necessarily have to be carried out by an appointed technical team, but can even be done by employees on site. You can imagine how much time and money this could potentially save the organization. Your teams are happy when they work with the regs, because they know that the IT standard ensures a top-notch working environment. In turn, this has a huge impact on your reputation as an IT employer, which inevitably has a positive effect on the recruitment of future employees in this area. So, you see, PATCHBOX is much more than just a cable. These might or might not be some of the topics that concern you. If so, I want to invite you to a personal IT risk consultation. You can easily register for this by booking an appointment in the calendar below this video. In this 20 to 30 minute telephone or video call, you decide, we talk about how PATCHBOX could have a positive impact on your organization's infrastructure, how quickly the return on investment in cable management actually becomes tangible and visible by significantly reducing downtime and maintenance, how we, as the market leader and category king, have already guided global corporations such as McDonalds, Uber, and Microsoft into a new era of IT infrastructure. Speaking of global corporations, here are a few more recent cases. A good example that I like to share is our collaboration with one of the largest tire manufacturers in the world. Thanks to our solution, they now have 50% more space in their network cabinets than before PATCHBOX. I also have a second case regarding standardization. This was the most important criteria for the nationwide rollout with sports retailer Decathlon throughout Germany, which has already been successfully completed. We are also working with Austria's largest retailer, and as of right now, we are equipping 1,500 shops with the same PATCHBOX setup, thus ensuring nationwide standardization. And then there's the international market. I would like to mention the US Army, Navy, Air Force, and other divisions in the Department of Defense. Many have equipped their infrastructure with PATCHBOX products and thus protect their system-critical IT landscape. You probably start to realize we definitely know what we are talking about. And speaking of knowing what we are talking about, this is what our customers say of our services. We always ask for feedback after the installation of the first project and typically get answers like these.
We've never seen anything like it before. The solution is absolutely unique and the quality of the product is top class.
It was quite a challenge to clean up our server room, but now that it's done, it feels great thanks to PATCHBOX.
PATCHBOX has given us 50% more space in our server cabinets. Unbelievable.
With PATCHBOX, we have laid the important foundation for standardization and at the same time demonstrated IT leadership by using the latest and best products on the market.
We started using PATCHBOX years ago, and replacing a switch is now a matter of minutes rather than hours. This feedback alone should be reason enough to get in touch with us and make an appointment today. Let me summarize. If you are responsible as an IT decision maker for the availability of your business processes, you are regularly confronted with chaos around your critical IT infrastructure, you want to prevent your infrastructure from becoming a business risk, and you long for a forever organized RAG, want to save your organization massive amounts of time and money today and in the future, and no longer have to worry about downtime and astronomical maintenance costs, then it doesn't really make sense not to work with us. PATCHBOX solves everything I have just briefly listed. So scroll down a little bit further on this page and book your personal IT risk consultation today. You will learn how to test PATCHBOX completely risk-free in your organization in order to justify a proof of concept internally. And don't worry, you won't be qualified by an unmotivated salesperson beforehand. This video has taken care of it already. You'll be put in touch with experts from your region who have already completed and managed countless projects in the respective market. Of course, we will still ask a few questions, so that we can get a concrete picture of your situation and come up with a customized solution for your organization. So take the time to book an appointment and let us show you exactly what cable management could look like in your organization and why your existing cable management could become a real business risk sooner than you think. Thanks for listening and see you soon. By the way, if you don't want a video call appointment, there's a telephone number on the bar at the top, so you can be put through directly to one of our experts. If you watched this far, then I really have to give the marketing team a pat on the back. That's it. I'm off to get something to eat.